Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Share Your Green. We're doing a lot of these today. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about Date I Live. Now, I'll be honest, I was debating making one of these because this is one of my guilty pleasure animes because it's fun, goofy, and also you get to see like badass different styles of character constantly. Anyways, I will say it is one of the weaker romance, probably better referred to as a harem show, regardless. Yeah, in terms of all that. And also, it's kind of like a gotcha game anime where you're just waiting for the character to find the new, cool, weird take on a character / trope and kind of watching it. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, essentially today we're going to be talking about Day to Live, news on season 4, which is confirmed and probably will be coming close, honestly released pretty close here. I think it's confirmed to come out in 2021, and it's going to be coming out pretty soon here. And we'll also talk about season 3 as well as the show as a whole, and me trying to tell you guys that maybe it might be worth your time to watch. Yeah, I laugh, I'm smiling because a part of me knows that there's a certain sect of people that are like, Grin, it's a bad show. And a part of me is like, listen, man, we all have shows that are maybe not the greatest, okay? But they're enjoyable. We watch them. Like Vampire Diaries had 8 seasons, and there's people who watch Love Island and shit. Really? You're coming at me with because I like the weird cutesy nonsense? Fuck right for me, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, yes. If you guys have, for people who have or are people who enjoy the show, essentially, there are a lot of like development hell stories from the show apparently. Where like, again, it was in this weird place for a long time, because that was one thing that shocked me about the show is like, it always baffled me when an anime was incredibly successful but never got a sequel. Like, it's usually not the critique. It's usually like a show like was great, but it didn't sell well, so sorry, buy the Blu-ray and we'll see what happens. But no, this show was popular in Japan. It's popular in the West. What do you call it? Also, it kind of makes sense. It leveraged like the cute character collector kind of mentality, where like figurines were made and shirts were made and all that kind of stuff into marketing and etc. Also, it was a really simple premise where you could like constantly keep doing it, where essentially it was a weird harem show. But you could just keep doing tropes or different like design of characters and etc. And also there's a boatload of source material and all of that stuff. But apparently got into development hell and the animations were kind of all over the place, which is why the animations for season 1 look pretty decent, pretty okay. Season 2, pretty scuffed. I'll be honest, look kind of like some things look a little rough around the edges. And season 3 look actually like it's silly like good. Like the animations on that look pretty shockingly well. There's like contrast, there's saturation to colors now. It looks quite good. And then season 4 looks actually quite odd. So first of all, this is the confirmation of there being a season 4. Trust my word for it. You can't just Google, will there be a season 4 of Day to Live? And it's yes, it's confirmed. It's probably going to be here in 2021, which and also pretty soon here. I don't think it's anywhere that far away. But yeah, this is like the teaser trailer that they made for Day to Live season 4. Like announced it's happening. It looks like the art style is a little bit more shonen. I don't know if that's true, but it looks like a little bit more, yeah, like it's serious, a little more gritty. The main character looks like the art style has changed. I do know, I think Day to Live is also like a weird mobile game kind of thing as well. But yeah, the art style looks a little weird here in the announcement teaser for season 4, which is coming in 2021. See right there. But then we go to that article and see the art style looks relatively the same, except there's like slight changes, like new hairstyles, new like looks and stuff. Like where was it? This looks the same shit, you know, or was this in season 4 or 3? I don't know. Regardless, we'll see what happens. It may look a little bit different. Honestly, at this point in the show, I would be actually pretty down for them taking like a different spin on it. Because that's okay. Now let's talk about season 3 and also just the show in general. Which, by the way, I should have done this a lot sooner. If you want to give the show a chance, essentially here's the premise, and it's a little all over the place. Essentially, we're in the future. There is these giant like nuclear level of explosion just popping off all the time. We don't know what's going on. The main character has amnesia. This is honestly just a wasted trope because it means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, He has amnesia, yada, yada, yada. Basically, we find out that these nuclear-like explosions, these spatial quakes, are spirits, these like dimensional beings that are coming into our world and causing calamity. And there's ways of like killing them or basically pushing them back into their realm kind of thing. Also, these spiritual creatures, or whatever you call them, these heroic spirits or whatever, are essentially hot girls all the time, spirits or whatever. Regardless, there's two ways of dealing with them: pushing them back with sheer force, which is what the military compound has kind of done in this world, and then there's the other option, which is, yes, harem-y as hell. It's you have to win their heart. And when you win their heart and then you kiss them, it steals their weird power within the main character, because he's the only guy who has this power, and it's a weird fucking vicariously live through the main character kind of show. Yes. Now some of you guys might be like, Grin, what are you doing? Why do you like, what is this? And I'm like, listen, man, we all watched some shows when we were a little younger, and you kind of just, you vibe with it, all right? And maybe it fucked with your chemical compounds in your brain that said, hey, we enjoy this weird format. And you know what? I'm ashamed of it. I was about to say, I'm ashamed. I mean, it's not great, but I can't help it. It's in my head. It's just like this weird, goofy, fun thing. And it's like anyways, regardless, that's the premise of the show. So then, of course, the main character has to essentially go with this like military ship and his like weird sister to essentially try to win the hearts of all of these spirits. Very much a harem premise of a show, of course. And yeah, that's kind of the whole show. Now, there are some cool subliminal things that start happening within season 1 and 2 and 3, which are basically something to the effect of like, okay, let's point it out like this. Okay, so the main character keeps winning the hearts of this spirit, winning the hearts of that spirit, etc. And now you find out that he can actually use their spirit power, which is pretty interesting. But they never leverage that, or they haven't leveraged that yet to be actually pretty interesting. What I mean by that is they haven't like given the main character the ability to wield like 7 different powers all at once and then to just fucking fuck shit up. Nothing, it hasn't happened yet, unfortunately. He just uses like one great sword, and that's kind of it, and it's, yeah. But the premise of the show is literally like, here's this cute new character who has a weird personality trope. What's her problem? Find out what her problem is, accept it or help it, and then you gotta love your life. It's like, that's it. Love is that easy, folks. Easy peasy, done. Well, it might be if you've been like, you know, in a realm where you can't, you know, you've just been in a basically space void for fucking millennia, and then you come to Earth, and then there's this one person who's like, by the way, I can let you stay here. You just have to, what is it? Give me a kiss on the mouth once, and then we just don't even look at each other ever. And it's like the most asexual relationship ever. Okay, sure, I guess. I could live a life. I could do, yeah. Okay, wow. Anyways, outside of the nonsense, that's the premise of the show. Again, it just escalates with season 1, 2, and 3, getting more and more and more because, of course, it's a harem show. Now, the good points of the show that I think are pretty solid actually are. Like there's this cool way that they do things within the show, which is like it levels the main character's discomfort and like damage, essentially. So what I mean by that is a lot of times in these shows, it seems like harem shows, and even like in reverse harem shows, which we've also seen, it just like, it fucks with the formula of like, why are you special? Like, I don't get it. I don't know why people are attracted to you. It's kind of like weirdly like they don't want to make the character too unique or too cool because you can't relate to him at that point or something. And it all goes to shit. But this character has moments where he's like that, but then there's other moments where like the dude literally gets eviscerated, essentially. Like, just goes through boatloads and boatloads of pain, which is also one of his like only powers. Is that he can basically heal from anything, so it's really hard to kill him. So a lot of these like very volatile spirits, he's getting like destroyed, like killed basically. But because he has the will to save people or to want to help people, he progresses forward and saves the day. I will say one of the things that this show does, and it's both good and bad, is it makes you hate some of these fucking bitches sometimes, man. When they first introduced, who was it? Oh, what was it? His sister? Hate her. Not the pink hair chick, the blue hair chick. Hate her. Just hate her immediately. And then also, what was the other one? Oh yeah, like in season 2, a lot of the people aren't very likable. Like the twins not that likable. They're kind of just like, we're just hanging out and we're super loud and we're like you're like a third party. It's basically the best way to describe it. It's like being in a three-way relationship, except two people are way into each other than the other one other. But yeah, then there's the singer. The singer is the worst. They make you fucking despise this character, and that's what they do so often, where they're like, this person's horrible. You shouldn't save them. And then there's like, I guess that's the contrast where like the main character, in a lot of these instances, probably should just say, fuck you, and walk away, but he doesn't. He's like, you know what? You stomped on my balls, you killed my family, fuck it. I still want to say hi. It's just like, what? Of course, things haven't gotten that brutal yet. Now, the good news is they're pretty good about like pivoting characters really fast and being like, okay, well, now that she doesn't hate you, you're not on her shit list anymore, and now it's like she's not the most unsufferable or insufferable person ever. Go team, and it works out. That was also the other thing. Yeah, this witch is like the worst. She like does the worst shit to him, and yet he's just like, you know, I want to save her, and I'm like, dude, she fucking wrecked your life, like on every fundamental level, and he's still just like, well, maybe we should like reach out. And I'm like, you are fucking broken. Something in your mind, you have zero like self-preservation instincts at all, my guy. But also, you're surrounded with people, so maybe that makes sense. Or maybe if you had like immortality. Well, no, because you still experience pain. Wild. Anyways, very fun show, nevertheless, because again, the premise is simply as, like, for a lot of us on the channel here, we're playing a game called Genshin, which is literally like, collect cute character, collect other cool character, collect motherly figure, collect daddy character, or whatever you're into, and then and this is basically the harem functionality, except we can actually play them. But this is the show, essentially just watching season by season. Ooh, there's a new thing, and there's a new one, and there's a new one. And I will say some of them are undercooked, for me at least. Like, I don't feel like we know enough about fucking either of them, and then they move on. Like, I feel like there's a lot. I wish the show would change its tact from like saving this person from like blowing up or like hurting other people, or like finding out what their actual insecurity is and like fixing it or helping them deal with it, and instead actually have like one-to-one communication and like hanging out, and like basically the first time the main character interacts with what's her name, like the main heroine. It's basically like the first heroine, which is like the princess, what they call her. Like the way that progressed was pretty cool. Like, they actually got to talk to one another. You got to see the personalities develop. That was fun. But then every other one is just like conflict. It's just like conflict, and then somehow they're in love. And it's just like, I don't think that sells as well as you seeing an interesting trope or an interesting character and having like this nice back and forth between them. And also like so many characters don't have enough time getting cooked, essentially. So like there's like the bunny girl, like the cute, like I speak through a puppet kind of like clearly established trope, where you don't really get it. Like, it doesn't make the most sense why, like, yeah, he saved you, but just like the communication's off. It just seems like that's undercooked severely. So I'm hoping that in maybe the next couple seasons or whatnot, that gets picked up, because it does look like they're picking up the show now. Again, people still buy the shit out of it because it's like a gotcha system. It's like, hey, here's a new cute character to look at, collect, and etc. This is what Fate Grand Order has been doing for a long time, or the Fate series has been doing a long time. So yeah. And as always, again, the main character is the most asexual character on the planet. Never even crosses his mind, or if it does, it's for a fleeting moment and it's over. Absolute madness. Anyways, I want him to get the fucking, like, to me, it's very simple who Best Girl is at this point. We're gonna have this conversation because we're already here. Best Girl is it's either two people. Easily either two people. One of them, it's either like the main character Huta, however, like the main princess, essentially, like the main heroine, just because he has the most communication skills with her. Also, she's the one who's like, actually, I proved that I would die a lot for you, actually. But then there's the other character who's like the unsung hero, who's still not a part of his whole like unit, and it's the one that like deals with time. And I get she's part of some sort of overarching theme, so she's like a constant, but not ever in. But she's proven herself to put like her fucking money where her mouth is, so to speak. Because she fucking kills it. Like in every season, you're like, well, actually, she never really did anything bad. Like that's one of the things where like these other bitches, essentially the other bitches, actually cause like destruction and fucking bad stuff. The one girl who's like supposedly like the mass murderer, like time person, time witch, whatever, is actually proven herself to be entirely reasonable and like actually you never see her fucking eviscerating people outside of people who are like cruel as shit to animals, which fuck them anyway. Fucking leave the dog alone. Anyways, I thought the same thing when I seen the first season 1 where like you meet the weird like time girl who's like a what do you call it, a goth or whatever, and then she like kills the people who are like shooting BB guns at dogs, and I'm like, oh no. Oh golly. What a bad person. Can we hang out? Anyways, regardless. Yes. Nonsense. Madness. Oh, and then there's there's the white hair girl. Honestly, my favorite character probably is the white haired girl she's like the military like girl who ends up actually, well, yeah, spoilers. We are talking about spoilers. She becomes like an actual entity, and her actually backstory is pretty tragic. But anyways, regardless, out of all the characters, she seems the one that's the most interesting. But there are moments where, again, she's like, I'm willing to kill you and destroy this whole area. Like, again, it's just moments where she contradicts her actions, where she's like, actually, I'm willing to kill everybody in this whole place because I don't like spirits because they're murderers. And I'm like, but you're gonna kill everybody and you're gonna murder, and you, okay. Also, you kill spirits, like you're also, I don't get it. Anyways, weird. I digress. The point being is that after you get through some of those things, I just like the way she is. Like, her personality trope to me is just funny. She's like deadened, but also very much like full tilt. Like, I don't know. I always get annoyed with the trope of like, I don't want to tell you how much I care about you, because it's just like exhausting. Also, it's like, good, you're gonna finish motherfucking last. You know? So if she's the opposite of that kind of person, she's like, no, I full send it. I full send immediately. And I think that part's pretty fucking hilarious, and I just like that trope immensely. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, the point being is that the show is frankly my guilty pleasure. It is a harem-y show, but I say come at me to everybody who says that, because everybody, whether you like Fate series, the Fate series, guess what, bitch? Yeah, you also like the fucking same harem-y nonsense, except it honestly, the Fate series has more sexual connotation than any of the harem shows that I watch. Okay, because again, harem shows are asexual. At the most, you get like a slight kiss, and then you never talk about it. You never look at each other again. It's just like the weirdest shit ever. It is essentially, you can collect this thing, that one, and that one. So yeah, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, Date to Live. It's getting another season, and it's coming out this year, and I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping, by the way, hopes that I have for like this season 4, I'm really hoping that they actually, again, either they do better at like getting new characters, or they start flushing out the existing characters that they have, which I think would be really, really nice, because there are also a lot of moments where like, wait, do the twins even really give a shit about him that much? I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're more indebted to them than they actually like him, if that makes any sense. As well as I want the main character to have moments where he actually matters and shines, outside of just being like, I said something sweet to you in the exact right moment, but also, I specifically got training to say those things to you, which makes it seem incredibly manipulative. Let's not talk about that. Hey, I'm a good guy, and it's like, okay, let's not look at that. It's kind of rough, honestly. It's a bit fucky, but point being is that I'm hoping that in season 4 there's moments of like him actually having to like do something. Like, again, I think and it kind of pisses me off because in season 3 there was like an OVA episode, which I hope is just not real. But essentially they kind of burn the trope that I thought would be really, really cool to do, which is the idea that this main character is essentially a vessel for all of their power. What if he was able to turn on all of their power at once and then be able to fight the big bad, where like each one of them together couldn't really make a dent, but all their power conjoined into a single point, like a spear, could crack through and beat this kind of entity or spirit or whatever. But instead, they kind of make an OVA where he kind of just is bursting with power, and he kind of just, they make it really boring, and like he just kind of keeps bursting with power in a weird way, and it doesn't, he does. I was hoping that there'd be a moment in season 3, or hopefully now it could maybe still happen in season 4, where the main character essentially like uses all of their power, and like he has like a knight helmet, he's got like a giant great sword, he's got like angel fucking wings from the twins, he's got like I don't know, he's got like a belt or something with music things on it or something, just like basically a badass knight angel combining all of their powers into like one person, and you can make like a badass transformation with that and have him for once save the day and all that stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, that is Day to Live season 4 news, as well as me just talking about the series as a whole, as well as why I thought season 3 was pretty okay. I will say I feel like season 1 is very, very good. Like it just feels like they got a lot done, stuff feels fine, etc. Season 2 feels a little rushed, and like again, you don't really know why. Like they spent too much time introducing like other villains and other conflicts before like really making sure the core component of the series, which is why the fuck did the twins even like accept anything about him? You know what I mean? Like yeah. So like I just feel like the twins don't give a fuck. Like they should. They just randomly do, and there's no reason for them doing that or giving a fuck, if that makes any sense. Season 3 was a little bit better. Season 3, you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. Like, yeah, like especially with the white hair girl, where he's like, oh no, you put in the work. You went and did like 80 repeats and finally got there. But shit. And again, I hope Goth waifu fucking finally finds his way back into the thing, because she's the best. She's undoubtedly the best. And don't come after me for my love of the weird fucking goth / punk love. All right, leave me alone. Yeah, she's just been putting in the work. She's been there, saving his ass, being helpful, wonderful, also being kind and charming, all this stuff. I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think about the show. Do you have any other guilty pleasure animes that you watch? I have many, and maybe this will unlock the seal of me talking to you guys about a lot of the other ones I watch. Maybe. Probably not, because I can only stomach so much embarrassment for a little bit of time. Again, I'm mostly kidding when I say that shit. Me, it's like everyone likes what they like. To me, this is something that I grew up in the age of watching like Sakire and fucking Vampire Plus Rosary, and what else? High School DxD. And listen, hey. It did some shit to my brain. I enjoy the weird thing, all right? I may be a bad person, maybe. I don't know. Regardless, eat me. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, season 4 of Day to Live is probably right around the corner. I don't know exactly when it's coming up, but I think it's very, very soon, like probably 2 or 3 months level of soon. But I can't wait, and I'll make probably a video talking about if we have any news about there being a season 5 when we hear any sort of news about it. I do think, as long as there's source material, we'll probably continue to get this series, because I know people like it because it's like a collector kind of thing. It's like a gacha game, except it's in the show of like a harem-y anime thing. And I'm all for people like collecting all of them. All right, we shouldn't just do the women. Again, have your reverse harem shows. They're lovely too. Sure, all that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.